All right. Welcome everyone to the live Q&A show tonight, May 24, 2021. Welcome everybody. We got a great show tonight, and with a very uncommon error coin that we're going to be talking about at the end. I'd like to take this opportunity and thank you to the panel for being here, and for everyone in our chat and people that come in and just watch the video at a later time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Looks like, yeah, they're starting to filter in now. So that is always a good thing.
There we go. See Eddie Jams.
Yep, Eddie Jams is here.
Hello, baby.
Everyone's clicking in and out of our panel.
Well, I hit the wrong button by mistake and took myself out. So
Stop pushing buttons.
Hello, Vince. Welcome.
like the Big Bopper and Richie Valens, I'm out.
Yeah. All right. Hey Jeff, you got the first one ready for us?
I do. Let me switch over here. Give me a second. Let me get my software up.
No introductions necessary tonight. You guys know these pretty faces. Right?
God help us all.
God help
Who's
us
got a
all.
pretty face? I'll go ahead and read the first one. From T. Logan, hi, just thought this was a very nice find. Please help us understand all that's going on this coin. The cud is beautifully obvious, and it seems to have a floating roof on the reverse. Thank you much.
Beautiful.
Whoa.
That's the stuff.
Well, that sure is a cud.
And if you had any doubts that there was a cud, you can always look at the back, and that'll tell the story right there.
Yep. My goodness, that is huge.
What you got for us, Carl?
And then
Share screen here with the cuds on coins. It's been attributed as 1970 S01, large date.
Yep, that sure is a match.
Hey, Amber.
It's a real nice find.
yeah, that's a beautiful find.
T. Logan wanted to know, how does this happen? I think he wanted to. He probably knows what had the rest of the chat and other folks in mind when he asked the question.
Well, I could take it. What happened here is pieces of the die broke off over time as the die was in service and was striking. Eventually, a big chunk of it came out, and then when this coin was struck, the flow from the metal flowing into the different crevices and empty spaces on the die to make the image also flowed into where the blank space was, into the crack, into the void created from where that piece of the die was missing. The piece on the back is the weakness caused by all of a sudden there's nothing to push anything into the design into the bottom of the letters right there, because there's no resistance on the other side because of the missing piece of the obverse die, and that is the reason why you have the weakness there.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that a little bit, a lot of people think that this is a defect on the coin itself, but it's not. It's actually on the die that was used to strike the coin. This is a pretty drastic one, and the condition is beautiful.
Yeah, that's what strikes me the most about it, is just the overall condition of the coin. A lot of times, if you find these in circulation, they got the associated color, but I mean, this thing's uncirculated all day long.
Yeah, where's Robert Adams when you need him?
Yeah, this is certainly a Robert Adams special here.
Yep, nice find for sure.
Yep.
It's always nice to be able to check that website and attribute it as well. Cuds on Coins is really a good resource for that. There are books as well. Thurman Margolis had a book out, the Cud book, I believe it was called. And, it's really cool to be able to open up a book and find an exact match to your coin.
Mm-hmm.
I put a link to that page on Cuds on Coins in the chat.
All right. Thank you, Jeff, Chris, and Carl for the information on that coin.
Excellent find.
Oh,
yeah.
Look like Paula came back. Nope.
Yes.
There she is. We got together as a panel and we're discussing format, some type of format for the show. So we're going to be trying a little different thing tonight. And we're going to try to get this show running maybe just a little bit smoother and everything like that. So it was brought up and suggested that maybe our introduction, the first part of the show, was too long. So that's why we're adapting some changes and trying to get it to run a little smoother. And Sean said earlier that, well, you all know what, there's not going to be introductions. Actually, we are into the part of the show where we're going to do introductions. So, Paula, would you like to go first, please?
Sure. I'm Paula Bloom. A lot of you know me from being on YouTube. I'm not really on YouTube anymore. I'm just doing the Q&A now. You see me a lot around in the Facebook groups, answering questions, probably not making people very happy most of the time, but I try. I collect errors and varieties. Right now, my main focus has been on errors and learning as much as I can, kind of immersing myself in that. Constantly studying the minting process and how certain errors can happen, and I'm really getting into the really complicated stuff, and it's fun, and I'm having a ball. And I missed these guys, and I missed you guys, and so I decided to. I've been on the Q&A. I've been in the background, but I decided to come back and jump right back in on here. So you still won't see me around on YouTube though. You'll see me on Facebook.
She got bored putting furniture together too.
Yes.
I am not good at putting furniture together.
And spending time with her pool boy.
I wish I had. I don't even have a pool anymore.
Well, that's right. We're going to have to find you a gardener.
Yes, please find me a gardener. My gardener moved out.
All right, Paula.
Thanks.
Chris.
Well, hey everyone. I'm the goofball of the group, as you might have figured out. I had to take a little hiatus for a little while myself. I had some things going on, but everything's back in order, and I'm back. I'm very busy, but I'm back. One of my favorite things to do is this live Q&A. I love checking out people's finds and sharing in their excitement. I do want to welcome Mr. David McCool. He's new here. He is in the chat somewhere. I saw him say hi. So he did show up and figure out how to get here. So that's good. He found something really cool, and we're going to showcase it later on tonight. So stick around. You don't miss that. And thank you, everybody, for showing up. Hope you have fun. There he is.
Thank you, Chris. Carl?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this live stream. And my name's Carl, or also known as CMUS Omaha. and I'm the latest addition to the panel, except for Adam, who's not here tonight. And I had to step one chair over and give up the number one chair for Goofball to Chris because he's back.
Are you the number 2 goofball?
I am second fiddle.
We'll find out.
No, he's just number 2.
He stepped in during your absence, Chris.
That's good. Everybody needs to have fun.
And later in the show, I'm going to do a balloon animal. So stay tuned for that.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh, I want a giraffe.
Next.
All right. Thank you, Carl. Mr. Jeff Stanley.
Hey, my name's Jeff Stanley, and I have a YouTube channel, Jeff Stanley Coins and Octane. I am starting to make videos again, and I forgot how fun it was to do those, so I'm enjoying starting to put those together. I've got quite a few planned out, so stay tuned on there. And we're going to try to put some additional content on this channel we've got planned out. For stuff I collect a little bit of everything. I specialize in varieties, errors kind of lightly. I'll take errors when they come along, but I don't actively seek out too many of them. But every now and then I'll get a little, I'll decide to stretch myself a little bit and buy a cool error or something. Series I collect. Jefferson nickels is my specialty, but I certainly collect everything else from Lincoln cents up to silver dollars. Haven't really gotten into gold yet.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Before we head over to Mr. Sean Blue Ridge Silverhounds, looks like Eddie is welcoming everyone to the chat. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Eddie. Thanks for the assist, sir.
Always good to see our chat members welcoming new people into and making them feel at home.
And everybody, yeah. Larry, Mobile Coins, welcome back. It's good to see you.
And we got our mods here tonight, so thank you very much for helping us on the chat side as we take care of this side of it. So always appreciated. Sean, you'd like to go next?
Absolutely. Good evening. Well, if you're a raging coinaholic like I am, then that's why you're here. You guys know me as Blue Ridge Silverhound on the old tube, and thank you guys for coming again to talk up more coins and all that great stuff. I deal in everything. Real simple. I'm not a specialist at any one series, and sometimes I lean on some of my counterparts on here to give me a little bit of expertise on something. Chris is a really good kind of like tool for errors and stuff like that.
I'm a tool.
Yeah, you are a tool.
I'm a tool.
Sorry, I thought I made that clear. But yeah, I just love coins, and I think I have a real coin problem. And that's why we're here at the Coinaholics Anonymous group. So, yeah. All right, enough of the awkwardness. Thank you for having me again.
Yep.
I think Eric's trying to figure out who's got the feedback.
Yeah, I am. I'm clicking all the panel
I know,
buttons
I was like,
on and off.
it's not me. He muted me. It's not
Not
me.
me. It's not me. I have state-of-the-art stuff from 2012. So
Yeah,
It's
well,
that
most
guy.
of state of the art too came directly from Amazon,
2012.
but I don't know where they got it. So, hi everybody. I am Blues Coins. I guess the other name I go by is by Eric. So I do have a YouTube channel. It's kind of put on the back burner for a little bit. I am concentrating efforts on our live Q&A channel here. And putting in input and getting suggestions and all that good stuff. So that's why you won't see me on my channel very often anymore. I'm an area variety collector. I'm getting into buying graded coins because even though with 4+ years of experience doing coins, I am still not confident on sending coins in to be graded. So that is just a whole new 5-hour special show by itself. So welcome everyone. Appreciate y'all being here. Bottom of the stream in their description, you will find a link to everyone's channel, their YouTube channel. You'll also find links to key informational websites, including our Facebook page, our info at live coin Q&A email, and our coin Q&A webpage. So make sure you scroll down there. Good sites for y'all to bookmark. And I think we need to go see another coin. You got another coin ready for us, Jeff?
Yeah, just give me a second here. Load one up in the software.
So I'm going to say hi to people real quick.
Yeah.
Martin, Lucky Duck, Tia, Seamus, hi Seamus, Jeff Stanley, David Carlisle, Red, who else? David McCool, welcome, Shannon Smith, David Carlisle. I'm probably saying hi to people all over again. Scott Holiday, hi. Okay. I just felt like people were.
Anyone she may have missed.
Hi, and anybody I may have missed. I'm sorry. I only read enough of the names that are just right there in front of me. Amber, hi. Okay.
Real quick, Tia, I read your little message. I'm so sorry to hear about your friend.
Yes.
You know, it's a tough loss, but I want to assure you that you are amongst friends. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. Hi, Dodger.
All right, we got a hello, Sean and panel. I purchased a mint roll of uncirculated 1938 D. Jefferson nickels, Lucky Duck, and I found 2 of what I believe are annealing errors. I do not believe it to be any kind of toning. This one is for Jeff since he has the knowledge on this type of error, and that is true. Jeff is our residential nickel guy.
Residential mental.
Nickel, stop staring at me. And I would appreciate your insights. I'm considering sending it off to NGC for slabbing. Thank you for your help, Scott Holiday.
Scoot.
I did have a question. He typed Scoot. I was wondering if that was a typo or if maybe that was a nickname. I didn't want to change it in case it was, but
I don't care what it is. I'm going to call him Scoot.
I interpreted it as a typo, and that's why I said Scott.
Yeah, he's got Scott in the. Okay, we're teasing, buddy. We're teasing, man.
He's throwing us for a loop.
He'll always be Scoot to me.
There's nothing wrong with keeping us on our toes here. All right,
Here's the real question. Here's the real question for Scott. Where in the world did you find a BU roll of 38Ds?
Right?
Right? I can't be the only one thinking this.
It's
Sign me up on one of those too.
Yeah, when I was reading that email, that's why I'm like, man, you found a shoot, Lucky Duck.
I would love to tap into one of these. So it is a 1938 first year of issue. And there is some, what we're seeing here is some color, some darkness. Show the reverse. Some of that carries over here. and it is the Denver Mint. This is a semi-key for the series. There's not a lot of keys for the Jefferson nickels. Nothing that's too terribly expensive, but the 38D, it carries a little bit of extra premium even in circulated grades. Let's see. I like the edge shot there. We got a little bit of an edge where we can see some of the color. That's always helpful. And by the way, that is one of the diagnostics for the improper annealing, also called black beauties, is that edge has to have the color carried over, and a comparison shot's always good because photography on the black beauties, the improper annealing, it's really difficult. I have the hardest time taking the pictures of these things.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
I really want a picture of that DDR on the left there.
Yeah.
Like a close-up picture. I was thinking the same thing too.
Okay, carry on.
And that is what I think it is. That's not a cheap error by any stretch of the imagination. All right, so let's kind of get into it here. We discussed a little bit before the show. The improper annealing error, what you're going to see generally is the same color throughout. What we can ascertain here is we can still see, and you still don't want to see luster, but the luster that we're seeing here on this coin is not consistent over the entire surface. It looks like it's kind of poking through like normal luster here, and my honest opinion is that I really think that's toning. Heavy toning. I almost call it like a powder coat. It's very evident on the reverse as well. You can see this patch right up here where it's really patchy like that. That's the original surface. And if the surface were the dark color that we see associated with the black beauties, I would call it improper annealing. But honestly, I think that's the real surface right there, and the rest of what we're seeing is toning.
Well, here's a little bit more. So this was a BU roll, and if we compare it to the coin that was next to it, I assume came out of the same roll. Can we go back to the picture that showed both of them side by side?
Yeah.
Even that one's fine.
Is that one okay? I can nothing to go to the other one.
So if we look at the coin on the left, you'll see the cartwheel luster. The coin on the right is very dull. And I'd have to almost say that this would be the coin that was on the end of the roll. That edge where it's still shiny right around the date area, to me, that's the area that was protected by the crimped end of the roll. And even if you look at the same thing, the back of it, it's dark. There's no luster left on the back of it. A black beauty coming out of a BU roll should still have the mint luster, even though the color is dark. It'll still have the mint luster.
Yeah.
That shot there, the side-by-side shot, was really did it for me, because you can see the luster on the left coin. There's absolutely none on the right.
And I do have a video on my channel for the Black Beauties where I take you through it. It's probably not one of my best ones I've done, but I've got a lot of hits on it, and people have watched it, and I'm hoping that's helping. But I think I do a decent job on that video, kind of showing some of the similarities, kind of what to look for. I actually have a certified example that I show there. Yeah, I'm just not seeing Black Beauty. As far as sending it in for grading, I wouldn't. If this was a full step coin and we had really nice luster where we thought it could get a decent grade, maybe. But I'm not convinced of that. The strike is a little bit weak on it.
Yeah, now Scott is saying, he's in chat, and he's saying it wasn't from the same roll that the coin on the left came from. But regardless, you see the luster on the coin on the left. The one on the right should have that same luster. And if you've ever held a real Black Beauty in your hand, you can just see the difference. It's really hard to explain, and there's a million different reasons why nickels tone a dark color. But a true Black Beauty, to me, the only ones I can honestly tell from a toned coin are the ones that still have the mint luster. Once they lose that luster, I don't know how anybody could tell the difference.
Actually, I consider once they go past the AU stage, I wouldn't consider them for Black Beauty anymore. At that point, once there's enough. That's one of the diagnostics is to have that luster.
I put a link to Jeff's Black Beauty video in the chat.
Oh, thank you, Carl.
Sweet.
Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, there aren't too many videos on Black Beauties, but I do highly recommend Jeff's video. It's probably about as most comprehensive as you will find on the interweb.
But don't watch it now.
No, wait until after the show.
Mark it later.
Mark that video. Yeah, look, the views dropped by like 5. That's funny.
Yeah. Poof, everyone disappeared.
Hey, Scott, out of the other 39 coins, do they all have this similar appearance where it's got the toning? Or do you have more kind of like more blast white looking coins in the middle?
Well, there's another question right there we can address real quick while we're waiting for an answer. Is toning a natural effect of aging? Yeah, I think so. You know, it all depends on what the coins are exposed to, the environment they're in. Is there moisture in the air? Is there extreme temperature changes? You know, maybe somebody stored their coin collection in their attic. They forgot about it for years, and then they went to get it, and then all of their coins looked like the one on the right because they were getting hot, then they were getting cold. You know, it really depends on what they're exposed to. You'll see a lot of coins in proof sets. Some of the older proof sets, there was dyes and chemicals in the cardboard inserts that changed them. It just really depends. Some really cool toning happens in the older coin albums. You get a circular, you know, toning that works from the outer edge towards the center. I'm trying to think. Oh, another good one is coins that have been in sealed bank bags for a long time. Yeah. Sometimes you get some weird patterns of toning on those coins that are in the outer edge of the bag that are exposed to that. But, you know, it's a natural. There's chemicals in the air, and they change the surface of the coin. So it's a natural thing. Some of it can be beautiful. Some of it can be ugly.
How about sunlight on silver coins?
Well, I'm not really sure what sunlight does to silver coins. I know heat definitely changes them. Sulfur changes them.
Liver of sulfur changes them.
Yeah.
Liver of sulfur.
Liver of sulfur. Liver.
Putting a hard-boiled egg next to a coin in an oven to make it change color. Yeah, don't do that, people.
I thought you were going to say that pudding changes the color of coins.
It does.
Pudding. Yeah, like chocolate pudding, tapioca pudding.
It makes them delicious.
Yeah, there's going to be some science experiments going on after this
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that with the albums. I've got a Dansko. When I first started really getting into Jeffersons, I had put a bunch of mint sets into my Dansko about 1995, and then I went on to hiatus from collecting for about 10 years. 10 years later, I came back. I had some that were from those mint sets that were blast white when I put in. They sat in the storage unit for a long time. They are beautifully toned from that album.
And the good thing is you put them in a good album. Now you take those same coins and you put them in one of those cheap blue Whitman albums, you know, the dollar coin show albums, the cheapest ones you can get. You put them in those and then put it in your storage unit for 10 years. And next thing you pull them out and they're green and they're corroded and crusty. So make sure you're using good quality albums, folks.
Scott Holliday came back with some answers to the questions. He says that the two coins were inside the roll and they weren't enders. So that comes to the question of, is that the first roll they were ever in? You know,
I think because he got them at a local coin shop. My sneaky suspicion is that the dealer opened up the roll, looked at the coins, and put it back in there, you know, and not have a regard of which coins were the enders. So, you know, it's not an unsearched roll, I would think. But that would be my suspicion as to why the more darker colored coins were on the inside of the roll rather than being on the end. Is that they were looked through.
My suggestion would be to find and purchase a 1958 or 1959 Black Beauty. They're readily available, and compare the two, and you'll probably see a drastic difference.
Honestly, Chris, I think that's the best advice for finding them right there, is to at least go to a coin show and pick one up and look at it with your own eyes, in your own light that you're looking at, or buy a certified one. You could pick one up between $20 and $30 in an annex.
Yeah, the 59 Black Beauties are readily available. I mean, you can pick one up relatively cheap, and if you're interested in this sort of thing, then you're adding something cool to your collection anyway, but you're also using it as a tool to compare to. I actually did the same exact thing. I think it might have been Victor Rascon had a whole roll of them, and I purchased one off of him because I wanted one as an example. And once you see it in hand, there's no mistaking it.
Yeah. Dathan Jenkins, send a picture, obverse and reverse, of that coin, and in 2 weeks, Adam Chambers will be back on our panel, and he would love to see your 1951 Bugs Bunny.
Oh,
he specializes in those, so
he sure does.
Yeah.
Yep. Adam is our residential Franklin guy,
or he's our guy
on what we like and what we kind of specialize in more than others. So we do have a good panel of folks here that are well versed in a lot of different types of coins. So you are at the right spot. Right above Blue Ridge, Sean's head, you're going to see info@liveqa.com. That is our email address. That's where you could reach us with your coin questions. We do ask that clear, focused pictures of the front and back of the coin and close-ups of what the anomaly is that you're looking at with a question. And then send it to that email address, and then we go through emails throughout the week. Please keep in mind we get hundreds of emails, so we don't get back to you in a couple days. Don't be alarmed. We're getting them to them. We try to answer them in order as received. So that's where you can find us. You can also find us on our Facebook page. A link to that is down in the description, and it is Coin Q&A, and that's at Facebook. And now
We answer all the membership questions.
Yes.
And agree to the rules.
Yep.
Hey, Spiked Head Die Crack. Paula's watching a pocket pool tournament on her iPhone.
I'm just happy to be here. That's all.
You know, we don't even ask Paula why she's giggling anymore because it's just a natural thing for her. She's always a happy face on this show and hanging around.
Yeah.
Most
Being
of us
away for a while has done me some good. We'll just put it that way. So
I think she's stoned.
Hi, no. I wouldn't tell you.
I know how those West Coast people like to hang.
Yeah.
A bunch of potheads.
I always end up,
A little dabble, do ya?
Yeah.
I always end up scratching in that pocket pool game. I'm no good at it.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Oh,
Carl, you're full of those one-liners, man.
but
Good one.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
just happy to be here and happy to see everybody in chat. And
Oh no, not this. Oh no, not the Merc. Oh,
Yeah.
it's
And
the
for
Merc.
those that are wondering, we do have merchandise. We have nice hats. Pins are not included.
No, they're not.
not this one.
However, I
That is our old
will
shirt.
throw in a coin Q&A pin and some stickers for anybody that orders something. Because I got a crap load.
Do we have any of the Christmas
wow.
ones left?
No, but I have new ones that I don't even know if I've sent you guys. You have a Christmas one. What are you frowning about over there, Frowny McFrownerson?
Because I just looked at my Washington Redskins one and realized it's obsolete.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. If you're interested in having a hat and a shirt, the shirts have been Mantic Coins approved. He did get some samples in, and he washed them, wore them, washed them, wore them. He did this for 2 or 3 weeks with different types of shirts to make sure that the ones that we are getting are good quality, soft,
They are soft.
comfortable. So the shirts have been tested and approved.
Did
I'll
Mantic
send you a pin. Put your
Who's
vision
Mantic
red.
Coins? Who's
Yep.
Shay Hoffmaster?
Say Hoffmaster, the Hoffmaster.
The Hoffmaster.
The Hoffmaster.
just plain off.
Wasn't he on the show Baywatch?
I
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he didn't drive around in a car too with a
Oh yeah, the car's name was Kit.
That's David Hoffmaster.
Rocky
So,
Superstar.
yeah, if anybody's interested in a shirt or a hat, that email above Sean's head is a good place to reach us for that.
I'll tell you, we only have 2 hats left.
And
So if
then
you want a hat, you better get on it. These are limited edition. You won't be able to get the same style next go round, if there ever is one. If we don't sell these, there ain't gonna be another one. Because I'm tired of having them in my house.
You know, while we were on the subject of Hoffmasters, has anyone ever seen any of David Hasselhoff's music videos?
Oh,
If you have not, you are missing out. Let me tell you.
Oh my God.
Check them out later on tonight. Okay.
not so much.
Anyway, moving on.
What's up next, Jeff?
That's 20 minutes of your life we'll never get back. People, do not do it.
Yeah.
And then you can go watch some Donny Osmond.
Oh boy.
All right. Looked like Jeff has our next coin brought up. And this is a submission from our Facebook page. And I do not have the name of Who
Her
sent
name
this?
is Melissa. I don't know if she's in the chat or not. Melissa, are you in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat.
I'm in chat.
I'm in chat.
Oh my God. If I ever dated a girl that sounded like that, I think I'd shoot myself.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, Chris.
Was that Melissa Tomei?
He said,
Oh
oh my God.
And you guys are wondering why I'm giggling.
Oh God. Oh.
Okay, talk about the coin.
Sorry,
So-
Chris.
Well, I'm a little uncomfortable at the moment.
No, stop it. Get over yourself.
Okay, so we discussed this one a little bit, and this one's kind of strange, but I think the general consensus towards the end of our discussion was that this is damage to the coin. To me, it's some sort of scrape. I would actually say rotational damage, maybe a buffing wheel. Could we rotate that to the left 25%?
I think we have one that's rotated.
Like that?
Yeah, like that. What sold me on the damage part was, first of all, the weakness in the word dime in that area is blatantly obvious. But if you take a closer look at the rim, you have a nice full rim at the C, the A, and the star. At the E, the rim starts to disappear, and it's basically gone up until the bottom of the torch. So I'm saying this is some sort of damage, whether it was intentionally done or by mistake. My call is damage.
Yeah, I liked your thinking when you were talking about it, possibly somebody trying to clean it, because it's obviously been cleaned. We see all the dirt around all the devices and everything else, and so
Something I didn't see before when we were first talking about it earlier. There's absolutely no grime in that area.
no.
Correct. And to point that out, there's grime everywhere else around
Exactly.
these devices,
Yeah.
except for in that area.
Even up in Pluribus, in the LURIBU, there's nothing. Unit, and there's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, this is like, if you've ever seen like a bench grinder, sometimes they have a wire wheel on one side and a buffing wheel on the other. If you could just picture someone taking this coin and bumping it up against that buffing wheel really quickly, I think it would cause something like this. If you kind of look at the word unum and the word dime, it almost looks like it's dripping down. Something pulled that metal down in a straight pattern, and it's really quite the same as a trail die, except for this effect happened on the coin, not the die. So
Good point.
to me, this is damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe somebody got really pissed off because they cleaned the rest of it and they're like, why won't that dirt come off? Let me try this buffing wheel.
And the thing is, anything could have happened to this coin. I mean, it's, old. So
Yeah.
it's obviously been around the block a few times.
Yeah.
Just trying to get a little bit better look at that S.
Somebody's trying to cherry picking our submissions.
I always do that.
I think we all do.
It's amazing that people send in submissions and they're asking about this part of the coin, but as we're inspecting the coin and talking about it and coming up with the correct possible answer, we are actually finding problems or errors or a variety on that coin that individual did not see. So yeah, just because we just looking at that one spot on the coin and talking, we looked at this coin all the way around for any other type of interesting marks and stuff like that on it.
That's a great point, Eric.
And for the people that don't know, the Mercury die is not the first coin with a W mint mark.
That is not a W mint mark.
That is not a W mint mark.
Right. That's a great point, though. But you know, when you're looking at coins, you really need to look at the whole coin. That's a great point.
Well, you know what? I'm actually glad he brought that up, because I do that and I don't even realize I'm doing it.
Yeah.
When looking at the reverse of the coin, and I was looking at the rim, and I noticed that the rim was missing in that area. It's not missing. It's not weak on the opposite side of the coin in the same area.
Right.
So let's say this were a planchet flaw. If it were a planchet flaw, you probably have the same type of weakness in the same area on the opposite side of the coin. In this case, you don't. So there's a lot of different diagnostics that I use to help determine, you know, my answers, and sometimes I do it without even thinking about it. So
yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun talking about this coin. We went back and forth with a bunch of different ideas and different attributes and stuff on it, and then we all decided on it's some type of damage, and Chris explained that earlier. So
sometimes with circulated coins, it's difficult, you know, and we don't just do this with coins that we show on the show. We are looking at coins all week long and consulting with each other. And so just because your coin doesn't make it on the show, when we reply to your email, unless it's something that we know, you know, is an easy answer or we've seen a bunch of times or whatever, we'll consult with each other. So you can be pretty safe in the answers that we give you.
yeah.
Tap Jammy. From Tap Jammy, is this a legitimate error? Please let me know. Tap Jammy.
We're switching it up a little bit, doing a little currency.
Little currency.
yep, we like currency too.
Yeah, I like to spend currency. I know that.
Yeah.
I like to make currency.
Ooh, I like to make currency too on my Epson printer. Just kidding, just kidding. But what we really have here, if you guys are looking at that little black mark, that's actually a teller stamp. So, in a way, it is kind of like damage, but you know, that's not part of the original first, second, or third print of these notes. And that's that. Pretty easy. Pretty easy to spot. Sometimes they'll show up as you know, maybe a partial semicircle with some lettering in there, and they can show up with different colors. I've seen them in green. I've seen them in red.
Can you show my screen?
Yeah. If I hit the right button.
So this is the strap that would be around bills. In this case, it was $100 bills. It's the only strap of hundreds I've ever had in my life, so I kept the strap as a memento. But this one just happens to show a teller stamp right on it. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, if they don't get that teller stamp lined up exactly right with the strap, then you're going to get what you're seeing on that $5 bill. It's going to transfer onto the note itself. So there you go.
Awesome.
Just like that, I made it disappear.
So I have a quick little interesting story. Coins for Amateurs, CFA, who we know and love dearly, actually got passed, and he showed it on his live stream Sunday. Told the story about it, but he just got passed a counterfeit $5 bill.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I would love to have one of those.
He got it in change, and then him and Michelle took the ferry back on their way home, and he was using it to pay the ferry, and the ferry guy stamped it and it did, or wrote on it or whatever, and it didn't come out the color that it's supposed to. So he brought it back to Chad and said, do you have another $5 bill? And so sure enough, Chad found out it's a counterfeit.
I'd actually love to see that. Now, of course, there's a lot of, if you go on Wish or whatever, a lot of them websites are selling the movie prop money. Then there's those Chinese training notes, they're calling them. But if it's like a true counterfeit bill,
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
It is. And well, I'll send you the link to his live stream. And you can watch it and just kind of scroll through it, because he actually shows pictures, a picture of a real one and then a picture of his. And the counterfeit bill is short. It's shorter than the real one. And yeah, so.
I would be willing to bet there's a lot of those out there, because, you know, most places don't check 5s. They obviously don't check 1s, or they'd be there all day. They're checking 20s, 50s, 100s. So a lot of stores and stuff don't really check the smaller denominations. And I think people are finally getting smart and catching on and saying, oh, hey, if we counterfeit 5s, we can get away with it. You know, kind of like Henning thought back in the day when he made those nickels. Yeah. And I've seen some really bad fake quarters as well. And you think, wow, who would fake a quarter? But, you know, in our country, a quarter doesn't seem like it's worth a lot. But there's some countries out there that a quarter is worth a lot of money to them. Zimbabwe. Yeah. So anyway, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
You know, you're talking about CFA, and CFA is a friend of the show. So I thought I'd go ahead and, because we were talking about currency right here. And if you are starting to look at currency and kind of want to know what to look for, this is CFA's field guide. Keep checking that change. And he's got some stuff on currency. So I highly recommend it for, especially if you're new to looking at coins and looking at currency, especially in here. That's a good place to start. And it's actually, I think it's out in Amazon. I think they still have it in print. It's a good little book.
Yeah, I was just going to say they carried that through Amazon. So, we did get a question in the chat, and it's from Jim.
Jim Von Felt.
And this is it's actually supposed to be a 69 nickel.
Oh,
90.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on a 69.
Stanley.
I was actually doing some reading on why it is so hard to find full step nickels or full step examples of nickels in the 60s. And the running theory is by that time the hubs and the masters that were used to make the dies were wearing out themselves, so they don't even think that they have any of the dies with full steps. So they're definitely not going to make coins with full steps. They're stamping out coins with dies that didn't even get the full impression on them. So that's kind of the running theory. There's a couple dates, 69S and 1967. There are no full step, even 5-step examples of those coins. I'm actually kind of writing up my own little field guide for myself so that when I go cherry picking, I've got a paper copy of kind of what to look for full steps. Is that coin right there? If that date and mint, is that something I need to look for? And if I see that in full steps and they've got it cheap, I need to pick it up. It's difficult to find certain dates. It's easy to find other dates, but yeah, 69S, you're not going to find them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. And if you do find them in graded condition with that full step designation, you're going to pay for it.
And I am definitely not going to find them because I ain't looking for them.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious that Paula is not a nickel person.
I mean, Jefferson.
The Jefferson
nickel person.
But that's because it keeps staring at you.
But
so.
I do like it. You know, I really want to see that 38D. On that, yeah. that's marked a DDR. Really want to see that one.
Yeah, throw a little variety in the mix. She gets interested real quick.
Oh, if it's got an error on it, I'll take it all day.
Oh yeah.
Or a variety. But if it's just a plain old staring me down Jefferson nickel, no.
I got one word for you, Frank.
Yeah, yeah, Club Dragon, he came in late.
Frank in the house. Oh, and Wanda. Hi, Wanda.
Welcome, Frank. Welcome, Wanda.
And Sharp Eye Coins. Good to see you.
I haven't heard that.
Justin is here.
Frank, Hong Kong nickel. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah.
Ken is Hong Kong nickel.
Hong Kong Fooey.
Hong Kong Fooey.
#1 super guy.
All right, let's go.
All right. Just remember where you all could find us. Above Sean's head, email, our
Find us
Facebook
above
page.
Sean's head.
Yep. Yeah, that's our email, and we got our Facebook page, and then we got I think right here. Right there in the chat, I just posted a link to our webpage, and you'll find information on that. So always exciting, always exciting. What you got for us here, Joe? From Paul, state quarter with no mint mark or engraver's initials, and some dots, exclamation points, and some question marks. This one is very interesting, and I learned about this coin and what it actually is, and it comes down to be it's a clocked die. Dirt and metal shavings and anything else will find its way into the die, and it will get so hard packed in there that it will take that particular design, loss of words. Device, thank you, and just obliterate it out. People commonly refer to these as a greaser. But with a clock die, when they take the dies out and they service them and clean them and inspect them for use, when they clean that grease off of there, all that hard packed metal shavings and dirt or whatever made its way into that device still stays in there. So that will give you the effect of having a missing device on a coin.
You know, I didn't notice when we were looking at this coin earlier, but the R in dollar kind of gets weak towards the end.
It does.
Now, what's going to happen here, if this die stays in service with that, goop in there, eventually it's going to fall out. And when it falls out, it's going to create what's called a dropped letter error. I actually think it should be called struck through dropped letter error, because that hard item, or whatever you want to call it, that hard, it's going to take the shape of the letter that it's in there, the D or whatever, and it's going to get struck into another coin and create what we call a dropped letter. Yeah, so.
Well, there's two types of dropped letters, correct? There's a struck through and a retained.
Yeah, and yeah. I think the retained is probably the more scarce of the two.
I think this is cool as heck.
I think it is too. Really neat.
Yeah. Because when you see these, a struck through grease is pretty common. You can see it anywhere on the coin. It's more, common on the devices and stuff. And typically it doesn't fill it all the way. You can see a trace of it. And just like the In God We Rust quarter. And that T in trust is usually a clogged die, and that's what causes that "In God We Trust." Sometimes it's not completely clogged, and you could just see a faint T, but that's the same thing. This is just very packed and completely filled, so there's no trace of that device whatsoever. Because on the devices, on these coins, on the obverse of these quarters, the devices are sunk into the die. So when they strike the coin, they're raised up on the coin. So they're incused in the die. So that incused area gets filled. I think it's really cool. And there's probably more of these out there. And we never found out what year it was or anything, huh?
No, we don't have a reverse shot.
Sean, you need to call him.
I believe it was a 2021.
I don't think he put a date, even in the email.
No, there's no.
Well, he's calling it a state quarter, so
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's not a 2021 then.
No. But Sean has his phone number. You can give him a call. 867-530-9.
Coin,
don't get me going.
Yeah,
coin crank yankers.
what a great song too.
I know. It is a great song. Was that a one-hit wonder for that person?
Yeah, there's a lot of one-hit wonders that were just
Come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear.
just great songs back in the 70s and 80s.
Was that the Jay Giles band?
What, the 8675?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was Tommy Two-Tone.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Hey Jeff, how many we got left?
Amber.
Oh, this is second to last.
So we got one more before the featured coin.
Tommy Two-Tone.
Yeah.
Two-Tone.
All right,
Okay.
let's go ahead and see what we got here. This one's from Carl. Since I've never noticed this on other coins and wasn't exactly looking for it, but I found concentric grooves on the rim of a 1959 D Lincoln Memorial sent to be a new curiosity to me.
That's RPM.
Yep. Little split serif action there.
Well, nice RPM, but that's not what we're looking at.
Do that one by mistake.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
And it was amazing because when Chris Rhodes looked at this coin, first thing he saw was that little bit of lamination struck through on it.
Up by the face.
Up by the face.
Little lamination peel.
I see everything.
I see dead people.
Yeah, so these are in line to be lathe lines. Is that correct?
Yes. So these are the same thing that you see like in the 9060. We talked about it before, the concentric lathe lines. So I actually have a die that I can show.
Oh,
Hey, Sharp Eye for coins. I'm actually even better at music trivia than I am at coins.
If Eric wants to pull this up.
There we go.
So this is an actual die.
Looks like a kaleidoscope.
I know, it does, huh? It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Getting dizzy.
I'm going to show it around. Where's a good... Boy, my light just all of a sudden got kind of crappy on this, huh? There we go. Focus, focus. Sorry, you guys.
Shake the camera.
Oh my gosh, okay.
That always worked for Ken.
So those are concentric lathe lines. And what Carl was showing on his coin Those are would be in the rim gutter, which is the part of the die. This is a different die that's right here. And that's what forms on the coin, the design rim. It's just a little ledge at the edge of the die that forms the design rim of the coin. And just like on the top of the die, the lathe lines, I mean, it goes through the whole shank of the die, if I can get it to show. Those lathe lines go through the whole shank of the coin. And so typically after the coin die is made, these would be polished off all around, including the rim gutter, but they don't always get all of it. And that's where you get especially on the 96D, but there's a site that has, you can find them on other denominations and stuff too, other years. And what Carl's is showing is those lathe lines that didn't get polished off in the rim gutter. And that's really cool because I've never seen that before. And I don't know if Chris has seen it either.
Yeah, I've seen it in lathe lines in the fields of the coin, but not on the outside of on the edge of the rim like that. That's what made me pose the question.
Yeah. So you can take me off now. Hi. Eric, hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi. You can take me off now. I'm shy.
Yeah.
I'm not. But
How
anyway.
you doing?
So Chris, do you want to talk about talking about how they make the dies when they turn them on the lathe? And maybe you can mention how you think that little center part is that earring on the quarter too.
Yeah. Well, Paula, can you put that die back up on your screen? You can leave it small, but at least I'll have an example to look at.
I will.
So, these dies start out as just a big metal rod. Okay, they call it a rod. I would call it a bar, but regardless. So it gets hooked up to a metal lathe. If anybody's ever seen a metal lathe in action, there's a couple different ways lathes will grab the material. Some have chucks or jaws on them. Some have points on them. In this case, these have points, and you'll see in the very center of that die is actually an indentation where that point was holding that die blank in place. And then they simply use a tool, a knife, to cut away material. The same thing goes for the gutter. That's why you're going to see them on some coins. You're going to see it on the rim of the coin. It's the same thing. Now, a while back, there were some quarters coming out that they were calling the earring, and it had a big round lump in the very center of the coin. And my theory was that it was caused by this indentation in the center of the die. If they tighten those chucks too tight, they're going to poke into that die face so deep that even the hubbing process isn't going to eliminate that groove. Same reason why you have some coins that show these concentric lathe lines. They didn't disappear when the die was hubbed or polished or whatever, and it just shows up on the coin. Over time, they'll soften out and eventually disappear. But that's what we got, folks.
Yeah, this is how they start. This is what they look like, just to show you guys before they're hubbed. They're actually conical shaped like this before the die is hubbed. So thank you, CJ's Coins and Crafts, for making my little die blank.
Eddie asked a question on where canceled dies how do you get canceled dies? And I've seen them at my local coin shop. Every once in a while, they'll have one in a display case. So check your local coin shops, coin shows. Sometimes dealers will have them at the coin shows. but I've seen most of them for sale on a third-party site that I guess you could refer it to as eBay.
So this one
Not,
I got.
not to give them a shot, not to give eBay a shout out, but that's where they could be found at.
This one I got is a set, 50 state quarters coin and die set. It's actually got the serial number from the die that's actually on the die. And then on the inside of the cert, it tells you, let me put it under my scope and see if I can show it better. Hang on.
Yeah, Wanda. Yeah, you keep that one on the halves. Those are hard to come by.
That's cool.
So it actually shows where it came from, the Philadelphia Mint. It's got the serial number. It was a quarter, a Florida state quarter. It gives the service date, the press number, the type of press, a Schuler press, how many strikes this actual die struck, how many coins it actually struck, when it was retired, and why it was retired. So these are really cool. Yeah. And it came in this nice little box with the state quarter, Florida state quarter, and the die. And thank you. This was from Ken.
Yeah, some of those dies are they're harder to come by. You see a lot of the quarter ones out.
Yeah.
But Wanda, she got a hold of a $50 one, and I know those are hard ones to find. And dimes are another one hard to find. So
they're fun to have. They're fun little stuff.
all right, Jeff, we only got one coin left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to that coin, I'm going to have Sean go over some information because, as most of you know, today was a big mint release day for a particular coin, and it's all over the Facebook sites, and people are making videos about it, about the trials and the errors and the goods and the bads. So Sean knows a lot more about this and the in and outer work, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over for him for this little segment.
And if you didn't get one, blame Silver Seeker. No, I'm just kidding. He was able to get, but you got to go watch his video. I'm not going to tell you anything. It's a fun video to watch. He actually filmed himself doing the whole process from the time it released until, so it was a fun video to watch. So go watch Silver Seeker's video. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I couldn't have done that.
Yeah. He had to edit it.
If I did that, there'd have to be a big disclaimer in the front of language.
Yeah, he has some serious editing skills, but he did a good job. It's a lot of fun. Go watch it.
Yeah, I get on my kid all the time for, screaming and yelling during video games or whatever, but there I was ordering from the Mint, screaming and yelling and cussing to the point where the dogs wouldn't even come into the office with me.
So Sean.
Yeah, Mr. Blue Ridge.
All right. Well, so some of you know that I did a video Sunday night.
Yes,
I think all of us saw it. Just kind of preparing yourself for that Black Swan event that we had this morning. And I wanted to personally share, I guess, some of the things I did that actually turned out really well. I was able to buy a couple of each of the Carson City and the New Orleans Privy coins, and I was able to close out my transaction in 4 minutes. And
wow.
But my secret, as you would expect, and I'll thank Adam for this because I'd never done it before, is to hit the remind me button on both of the products on there. And you could either elect to have an email sent to you. And I actually got my email like half an hour before the coins went live.
I did too.
Yeah, you got yours too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was strange because I clicked in there. I'm like, I wonder if they released it early, and no, it still showed as.
I usually get it like 5 minutes after
Yeah.
it's gone live, and this time I got it, like you said, a half an hour before. It was weird.
Well, I heard of a few people that actually received their email or notification like 5 to 7 minutes after it went live. So that was kind of strange. But seeing as I was interested in both the CC and O privies for a couple of each, what I did was I made sure I was on my laptop. I went into my email, and I have these two emails that they had sent separately for each one of those products. And what I did was like, I'm going to try this out once and just see if it works. And I clicked into the CC Privy one first because I wanted to make sure I got those ones in cart first. So it opened up a completely different screen. I added the two quantity, and it actually uploaded it into the cart where it was ready to check out. And before I hit checkout, what I did was I went back into my email and I opened up the link for the O Privy, and it opened up a completely brand new screen from the Mint. And I added two of that item into the cart. So I actually had two live active screens going for the US Mint. I had already added the quantities that I wanted for each of those coins. So I went back to the first screen where I added the CC coins in first, and I hit checkout because the little pop down comes down from the top of the screen. So I hit checkout, and that one crashed, and I went back into the other one, and I hit checkout even though it only showed the two O's because I was already logged in, and that's kind of like the key also, making sure you're logged in to the US Mint website before it goes live. I hit checkout on my other screen, and it went through to the next screen to where you could put in and make sure that all of your address, shipping information is correct. And I ended up getting all the way through the process with that screen without any hiccups or having to refresh or start over or anything like that. It actually turned out really well. But yeah, I got the coins that I wanted and the quantities that I wanted for each one of those. So that's my personal experience on what I did differently. Again, if you didn't use the remind me function on the website, you're going to find yourself starting from scratch where you have to type in, usmint.gov and having to find the product in the product portfolio for 2021, and that's where you encounter a lot of the site slowness, is having to go through 3 different pages to get to that product to add to the cart, and that's kind of been a few people's pain points, is when they have to do it from scratch. And but with the remind me feature, it goes right directly to the product, and you go ahead and add to cart whatever you need. So I found that to be probably the best, most useful thing out of this whole experience. I did notice that the US Mint was like slightly more compliant and faster than on previous big releases. So I don't know if the US Mint had upgraded their servers or whatever the case may be, but yeah, it came out a lot better than it usually does. And this was not a slumbering release. It did sell within 24 minutes, both the CC and O. Not at the same time. I think it was like 1 minute apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, they both sold out within 25 minutes. One thing that I will tell everyone, because we know it, people are beginning to sell these on eBay, with confirmed order in the titling. Keep in mind, we don't know when these are going to drop. I was under the impression that it was going to be this fall in October. There's been a few reports that people have been getting this message that it'll be in stock June 13th. I don't know if that's correct or true or whatever. So take it for what it is. It's not confirmed by the US Mint that these will be available in a couple weeks. People are selling these pre-orders right now on eBay, and they're going for a good amount of money, between $200 and $300 for both the CC and O pretties. Keep in mind, if these are going to come out in October, the people that are trying to sell their pre-orders, that's over 90 days. So there's a possibility that, let's say their order didn't go through, and then October rolls around and you're promised a couple coins that you ordered from those sellers. You may not only will you not be able to get the coins, but there's also a strong possibility that since it's over the 90 days for eBay returns, you may not be able to get the money back. I don't know. I wouldn't exactly test that theory. But just to let everybody know, these coins are not live, so don't pay a boatload of money to have them right now, only because there's a lot of fear of missing out. A lot of people did miss out on this release. And I hear it all over Facebook and all over social media. People are still missing out on stuff like this. So,
well, it was very I'm a little upset with the verbiage that the Mint used. It was kind of deceptive, because I remember reading that they said there would be plenty for everyone at one point, and then when they came out with the product limit of 175. Now, mind you, remember that on the Mint website, it does not give you a mintage limit. It has a product limit, which means that single product they're only making 175,000. I personally think that they're going to come out with a set that's going to include all of them. That's why the mintage limit is left open.
I wouldn't.
That will be called, that's a different product. When they sell a set, it's a different product than that one single coin. So it may not be over yet. Start saving your money. Because I think
also take this into consideration. If the U.S. Mint does elect to do some sort of gift set, multi-piece thing, whatever that may be, that might be a very limited amount of sets. Because, let's say they had 175 of the individual coins, 175,000, that is, they may only make 25,000 of the sets, to kind of fill up a certain amount of mintage for that. Or I could be wrong. It could be 75. It could be 175,000 sets. I don't know, but
it could be several different. They could do a ONCC. They could do a PDNS. They could do,
exactly.
But I think that's why they've left the mintage limit open, and are only assigning numbers to a product limit. So that's just my opinion.
Or if you don't want to deal with it, you know what else is being scooped up right now? That's also a Morgan piece. Graded mid-state 63, 64, and 65s have gone up in value. If you want to deal with the modern stuff, go for the classic. I have a few of them somewhere, but that's been kind of the news on the graded side of it, is that these earlier, more common date, like 1882, 83 Morgans in those specific grades have gone up 20%. So there is some kind of pour over effect from this U.S. Mint program that's affecting the market of the earlier piece of Morgan dollars. So another thing to keep in mind. I mean, people like the old stuff more than they like the new stuff. So,
Yep. And if you kind of paid attention 2 or 3 months ago when the Mint was talking about, and we're talking about the release of the 2021 Morgan, if you're able to put 2 and 2 together and you picked up 1921 Morgans at a lesser cost than what they're going for now, then more power to you, because you're going to make more money now since the 2021s have been released.
Yeah,
Is it a chicken? I keep hearing a chicken.
it's not me, I promise. Usually it's donkey sounds on my end, but not today.
Maybe it's somebody's chair. I don't know. It sounds like a chicken.
Hey, and
That might be my chair.
There was a lot of hype involved with this release from the Mint this morning, but I think it was priced just right. It's all of the arbitrage that's involved with stuff like this that gets you every time. It makes you a little salty on the program, to be honest, when people have purchased something that's not in their hands physically, and they're turning around and selling it for 2.5 times what they paid for it. That really makes the program not a lot of fun, because they're not seeing it from the numismatic point of view. They're seeing it on the the profit and the money making and the all that great stuff.
I only got one of each. And I think the only reason I was able to get them is because I didn't care if I got them or not.
Yeah, sometimes if you don't care, things kind of like fall into place.
Yeah, I did do what you said on the video, though. I did the same thing. I hit the reminder, but I didn't have as easy a time as you did. I did have struggles. I think I probably got it.
I usually struggle, but it kind of came together perfectly for me.
I did one. I hit one. I had one window open on my tablet, and then I had one open on my phone. I hit the reminder for the CC on my tablet, and I hit the reminder for the O on my phone. And then I added to the cart, and then I went and checked out. But it wasn't as easy. It was in my cart. It just kept, I had to repeat the process over and over, collecting the credit card I wanted, doing all that stuff. And finally it went through, so.
Yeah. Well, the thing I don't like about this is that household limit of 10. They didn't need to do that. That was way too expensive for this program that they didn't need to sell out anyways.
Yeah. So we have a coin to look at, because we're probably getting. I think we're at the we're at the hour and a half point. So
yeah, that subject was kind of the elephant in the room, and
oh yeah, people, yeah, for sure. But I think people are pissed off right now.
We don't need that.
Yeah, when they were mad that they couldn't get the coin and they got over it, now they're mad again because
now they're mad at us.
And then they remembered they couldn't get it. All right, let's see what Jeff has over here for us.
I think Chris is going to talk about this one.
From David.
Yep. David, I didn't know if we do the last name or not.
David,
well,
cool.
this is from David McCool.
It is
Cool.
Mr.
So this one I saw, this was posted on one of the groups on Facebook called Coin Roll Hunting and Currency Collecting. Sorry. And I thought it was really interesting. This is a pretty drastic error. Now, a lot of people thought this was damaged, and I came along and I knew it wasn't damaged. A few others called it a lamination error, and they were close. They were on the right track. But what this actually is a coin that was struck through a large detached lamination from another coin. And the indicator here is there's really, I can't say there's no sharp edges, but there really aren't any sharp edges. There's no peeling on the surface. There's no wood grain look to the rest of the coin other than in the area where this anomaly is. And if you look right above the L or right below the L in Liberty, you'll see that this was actually over the design rim as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this coin was actually struck through a very large detached lamination. So a coin that was struck previously to this one delaminated after the strike, and the piece became loose and stayed in the striking chamber. This one came in and bam,
I got to tell you, this coin has great eye appeal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get rich finding something like this, but it's really cool. I'd say this is a 10, maybe you could squeak $20 out of this on a really, really good day. But it's a $10 coin, nothing crazy drastic, but one of the ways to eliminate damage is look at the reverse. There's no
It's
distortion.
clean.
It's a nice clean strike, and that much damage on the obverse would surely distort the reverse of the coin.
Yeah.
So that eliminates that, and
Yeah.
like I said, the fact that there's really no sharp edges, no peels, and no wood grain look on the rest of the surface of the coin, this is a struck through lamination.
So
Very cool.
a
And
struck,
I know,
a struck through lamination peel.
well, yeah, I mean,
If you
the word peel really isn't necessary. It's just it's a part of another coin that delaminated, and it's a large piece of scrap at this point.
Mhm.
the way that you said it first leads me to believe that this planchet was laminated to begin with and then struck onto it. If
No,
the
this
if you
was
say it the way that I said it, then it takes into account that a piece from another coin, the peel from a lamination, fell onto this coin and was struck through that. Then that's the way.
I mean, I guess if
My mind.
that helps you understand it a little bit better, then by all means use that. I would just call this simply struck through detached lamination. Because it wouldn't be struck through its own lamination. It came from another coin. Yeah, I use the term delamination when it indicates detachment, like Amber's saying there. A lamination is a descriptive term that describes a flaw or a defect in metal or other objects, some other objects, but mainly metal. And in this case, it just happens to be a coin planchet. But I thought it was really cool and worth looking at, and easily mistaken for damage. And I mean, this guy found it in circulation. I'm not sure when. I know he said he had it tucked away for a while, but how many people's hands did this pass through before someone like David finally said, "Hey, this is not normal. I'm going to put this aside."
Well, a lot of people, I'm sure, had this in their hand. Are like, man, this thing's a beat up, road rash coin.
Oh yeah,
which is a common, kind of first impression for something like this. But
and I mean,
somebody who doesn't collect coins would just, that's exactly what they would. That's what I would have thought before I started. I would have been like, oh God, throw that in the wishing well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there is some damage to the coin as well, up around in God, that's damage, but the main focal point of this coin is that struck through lamination. Very cool, and I wanted David to come. David didn't know about this live Q&A, so he's new here, and I thought it was worthy of looking at. So hopefully we have a new fan.
Good deal.
And looking to see what else he has found. I know he said he was tucking coins away for a few years, and he's going back through them now and pulling out the good ones, or the ones that are piquing his interest. So
yeah, for sure. So I'd point out too that
I think David's in the chat right now.
Yep.
Condition is everything, right? You've heard us say it before. Condition, condition, condition. Had this coin, somebody set it aside fresh when it first came out of the mint, this would be probably a very expensive coin. I know error collectors who, if this was in BU condition, would pay a pretty penny for this coin.
Yeah, beautiful coin, great find. Thank you for the lesson on that, Chris.
Yep.
Super cool. There's coins for amateurs.
I actually got this one wrong because I actually responded to David's email, and I said it was just a lamination peel and a severe one, and it's a great find.
I think a lot of people would have said that, Eric. It's not just you. A lot of people would have said that, and they did in Chris's group.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing, even with the coin knowledge that I got. Even after 4 years of doing this, I'm still learning. I love it.
Well, you know what, Eric? You're on the right track with it. I mean,
Yeah.
there are lesser examples of a coin structured delamination that looks like just a regular lamination. You know, it can fool you. It's fooled me a few times.
Yeah. So there's seasoned collectors that still get something that's just a little bit off the wall. So
errors and varieties are a specialty. I mean, they are and out of all of the collectors, out of all the numismatists in the world, we are a very small, minute percentage, us error and variety nerds. But we're the best. It's the best part of the hobby, in my opinion.
Certainly the most fun.
Yeah, but not everybody likes errors. I mean, and it's, you don't have to. I mean, I probably won't hang out with you if you don't, but whatever.
Hey, I don't, I like errors, and I also like perfect coins. I like everything in between as well. So I like it all.
And weird shit like this, these repos, exonumia
Repose.
repos.
that was our last one, Jeff.
That was our last one.
All right.
That's why you see my mug up there.
Like that.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to see everyone's smiling faces on the panel. Good show, panel members. Appreciate y'all being here. Everyone in the chat, everyone that sent us emails, everyone that joined us on our Facebook group, thank you all so much. This show could not happen without you. If you already haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, leave a like. Next week is our bye week. We will not be here next week, but we will be here the following Monday, and I'm trying to figure out what date that is.
Repose. Yeah. And everybody
Now,
have a good Memorial weekend.
Paula, come on now. In the past, you have made things sound French that weren't French. Now here is a French word that you're making sound English. What is wrong with you?
It's planchette.
Yeah, like that one.
Shut up, Chris. Shut up, Chris.
Amber, Thaler.
Shut up. It's not Phoebus. It's not Phoebus.
Yep.
It's
next
not
week is actually Memorial Weekend, so that's our bye week. We will be back on the 7th of next month. Keep sending in those emails to us. Come join us on our Facebook group. Thank you to all the panel members once again taking the time and educating us. Thank you everyone in chat. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be good to each other.
Remember remember those veterans who gave their lives so you could have your freedoms. Hold on to those freedoms and fight for them, especially right now.
All right.
Hey, as Jerry Springer used to say, take care of yourselves and each other.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.